Hello guys, and welcome to episode 23 of the How to Make an RPG in Unity tutorial series. Now you may notice that my scene looks a little different, and that's because I actually downgraded my project from 2020 to 2019, so the terrain asset was actually corrupted, as well as the nav mesh asset, so I just had to make some new terrain really quickly. But yeah, this is how it looks. Doesn't really affect the gameplay. If you guys want to follow the terrain, I made it in the first episode or something. But yeah, the terrain doesn't really matter, so this is basically our terrain for now. But anyways, what's gonna happen is today we're going to be making some damage pop-up text so that when we attack the skeleton, there's gonna be some damage that pops up. And also, some people in the comments suggested that we add a wandering function for the skeleton, so that when they're out of range they would wander a little bit, which is what we're going to be doing today. So I did say we were going to make chest UI, but we are not going to be able to get to that today, simply because we won't have enough time. So today we're just going to be making the skeleton enemy, kind of walk around if we're too far away, and yeah, and adding the damage text so that there's a pop-up that displays how much damage you're doing. So yeah, with that said, let's get started. So the first thing that I actually want to do is I want to make it so that instead of void update, we're going to change it so that there's going to be a float where only if the player is close enough to the skeleton can it actually follow. So we can just call this follow distance, and only then, only if distance is less than, oh wait, I don't think we should do it here. Where do we make the nav mesh follow? I believe there's the attack. Sorry, I haven't. Oh, there we go. Okay. So what we should do is we should check basically if our player, we should also actually just copy this distance float here and just paste that in so we can get that distance. And then we can say if distance is less than or equal to our follow distance. And basically what this is saying is only if our player is close enough to the skeleton enemy will our skeleton enemy actually follow us. Okay, so I'm back in Unity now, and basically we can just change this follow distance to let's say 10, and if we start playing, then you can see that the skeleton doesn't actually follow us, unless we actually get close enough, and then it will start following us. But if I run away and I'm outside of its follow distance, it will stop following us. Another problem is that its animator is playing, so what we're going to do is we're going to disable the animator when it is not following. So what we can say here is anim.enabled is equal to true, else anim.enabled is equal to false. Okay, so now we can go back into Unity, and then we can press play, and now if we're too far away, then he will not follow us, but if we get close enough, then he will follow us. I wonder if, okay, so there is no way for, okay, actually, what we can do is we can kind of just, because we're going to be making the wandering, we can actually just delete this, what we just did, sorry about that. What we can do is we can say else, and this is basically going to be us creating the wandering. Now, how we're going to be creating the wandering is we're going to basically be setting some parameters. And how this is going to work is, let's say we might have a basic, a bunch of basic coordinates, and what we're gonna do is we're going to have basically a cube that is going to be spawned randomly within, or not a cube, but any target that's going to be spawned randomly in any coordinate within of our parameters. So for example, our public I guess we can like have 4 floats. So our public floats would be like max wander x, min wander x, max wander y, and min wander y. And these will be our parameters. And basically what we can do is we can just create like var, or no, I guess we wouldn't have y, we would have z, because y is, we would not want our enemy to fly. So we would only have like a basically kind of like a vector 2, except we're gonna have like a max and min value. And basically we're gonna have var x position, and it's gonna be equal to a random number between x min, if I can spell that right, x, what did we call it? Oh, min wander x, that's right. Min wander x and max wander x, z, not z, x. And then we can copy this. Did we call it max wander x? Max wander, oh, that's what we called it. And then we can just change this, but to z, and then as well change this, but to z. Alright, and then we can call this z position. And now what we can do is we can just say var transform. Also, we would not want to do this every single frame or every single time late update runs. So we're probably gonna have like a coroutine function later. But for now, we're just gonna like, actually, yeah, let's move this into a coroutine. So we're gonna have another coroutine. So if you remember from our attack function, what we're gonna do is we're just gonna say I enumerator wander, and then we're just gonna paste all this code here, and then we will also have a bool here that says is wandering, just to check if we're wandering or not. And basically what we're gonna have here is we're just have a check to say if not is wandering, then we're gonna start the coroutine wander. This is just so that we don't run 50 coroutines side by side. And what we're gonna say here is if I guess if not is wandering, and then we can close all of this in brackets, and then we can say here wandering is equal to true. And then we're going to have a line here that is going to basically, after var transform, okay, actually let's make the var transform first. So we're just going to say var transform is going to be equal to var position is going to be equal to new vector 3 x position transform dot position dot y, and then z position, because we don't want to change the y position. And then we're gonna have yield return new, wait 4 seconds, and we're just gonna wait like, let's say 3 seconds before it chooses a new target to wander to, or maybe like you can change this value to like 10 or whatever, but let's make it 5 or something. And we're just gonna set is wandering to be equal to false, so that we can rerun or perform recursion on this function. And basically what we're gonna do is we're just gonna create a public transform variable target wander target, and what we're gonna say here is we're going to say, oh yeah, also you need open close brackets here, and we're just gonna say wander is going to be equal, or wander target is going to be equal to dot position is going to be equal to position. And then what we're going to do is we're going to create another kind of else statement here. So else So basically, otherwise, what we're going to be doing is we're just going to be making the wandering work. So we're just going to set the nav destination to be equal to, so we can just copy that line there, but instead of the player transform, we're just going to copy it to the wander target dot transform dot position, sorry. And yeah, that's pretty much it. So now we can just set all the max x and min x, and we can watch our enemy wander. Alright, so now we're back in the scene. Unity crashed again, and deleted my terrain files again for some reason. I don't know why that keeps doing that, but no matter. I wonder if the navigation, yeah, it's still there. Okay, so let me just rebake the navigation. I'm just gonna not bother with the terrain anymore because Unity seems to very enjoy deleting my terrain data. So if you guys like, I might have like 1 or 2 videos dedicated to terrain creation, like water or trees or other more like different types of environments, but like, I don't know, Unity is being really bad. So, but what we're going to be doing is now we're just going to set our max x and min x, max x, and min z and max z. And actually what we can do is we can, at the very start of the game of our skeleton spawning, what we can just say is actually go back in the script and we can say max wander x is equal to transform dot position dot x, and then min wander x, and we can add like a random value to that. So like if you guys want 20, you can make it 20. If you guys want 30, whatever. I'm just gonna make it 20, and then I'm just gonna do the same thing here. Except I'm gonna subtract 20, and then I just duplicate this, and then we're just gonna do z. Oops. And z here. Alright, so yeah, now we don't even need to create our values in the inspector. Now we can just press play. Oh, we got an error. Oh, that's right, we did not create our cube that our enemy is going to be falling. So we can just kind of create a cube in the middle of our skeleton, and we can kind of just turn off the mesh render and delete the box collider because we're not going to need that. This is just going to be something, we're just going to be using the transform pretty much of the cube. And then we can just set our wander target to be this. And now when we press play, it will most likely work. So yeah, so you can see our values are in there, and it is following them, kind of, which is interesting. So let's actually create, you know what, let's actually set the sprite mesh render as active. And then we can basically like see where the cube is going, just for debugging purposes. So okay, so the cube is like running around the player, the skeleton. I think the problem is that it because the cube is coupled to the skeleton, when it turns, the cube also turns. So we don't want that. So let's just drag it out, and you can see the cube is there, and now it is wandering towards the cube whenever the cube disappears and goes to the next spot. So yeah, and it will never leave its original position. So basically this is getting a bit complicated, but whenever you're gonna, if you want wander on an enemy, whenever you want to, you just want to like create like a cube or something like that, or a sphere or whatever, and turn off the mesh render when you do create it, and then like drag this into the skeleton enemy's wander target slot. So I'm just gonna save this scene because Unity has been crashing a lot recently. And then what we're gonna be doing is we're just gonna create some damage pop-up text. So in certain games, when you shoot somebody, especially in Borderlands, you can see there's like a damage indicator that pops up from like your hit position on the enemy. So we're just gonna do that really quickly before we end this video off today. And I'm just gonna create like a text mesh pro under a canvas, and I'm just gonna drag this. Whoops. Why is this here? This should not be there. I'm just gonna create text mesh pro if I can. Okay, it does not let me. I'll create a canvas first then, and I'll make this world space overlay, and then we're just going to create a text mesh pro inside of this canvas, and we can kind of just call this like damage text. So damage text, or like just like put a number in there and then just like center it. If you don't, it's not gonna look good. And then we can kind of just make this like 0.01 by 0.01 by 0.01, and then drag this under the skeleton enemy, and let's just center it to see how it looks. We're not going to be putting it actually under the skeleton enemy. I'm just going to be putting it there just to see how it looks. And you can see it looks okay. I'm just probably going to make this 0.05, my bad, by 0.005. And I'm going to actually expand this entire thing to fit the entire thing, and I'm going to make the max auto size this, and make the max of the auto size slightly bigger, just so you can see it better. And yeah, I think that looks like a pretty good damage indicator. Now, what we're going to be doing is we're just going to be kind of like, this is going to be like we're just going to like instantiate this kind of whenever we hit an enemy. Also, let's just rotate this to face the player. We can actually just change the rotation to be, or set it to be skeleton rotation later anyways. But what we're going to be doing now is we're just going to drag this out, and we're going to create an animation for the canvas, and we're just going to add this to the animations folder, and we can call this damage anim. And yeah, let's just record. And oh, so we got an error from the console window. Again, I just switched Unity versions, and it is being very weird. Okay, let me just set this back to the 0, 0 of the skeleton enemy. And we're just going to be instantiating this under the skeleton enemy anyways, so yeah, it doesn't really matter. But anyways, if we play the animation, it will all appear, it should appear at around there, yep. And so let's just like instantiate it like maybe at the middle or something like that. And then after a minute, or a second, sorry, we're just gonna make the damage text kind of go up, and we're also going to turn down the alpha to the minimum at around that point. So you can see this is basically what it looks like. Now, not super good, you guys can definitely improve on this, but that's basically just what I'm going to use. And then we're just going to create a prefab out of this, and we can basically just kind of rename this to be like damage text. And then we can go into our weapon, which is wherever we did the weapon stuff. Take damage right here. We're going to create a public game object variable for our pop-up, damage pop-up, so damage text. And basically, whenever we take damage, we're just going to instantiate damage text by at the transform dot position, and then also at the transform dot rotation, and we're just going to delete it after like 3 seconds so we don't like clog up our scene. So we can just create a temporary variable and name it whatever, and we just destroy G after however many seconds. In my case, I'm choosing 3. So now we can just go back into Unity, press play, and if we grab the sword, come here, it is not falling. Okay, there we go, it's following us now. Or it is not actually. Okay, so it is not following us. We have to find out why. So we have here, if this is less than or equal to follow distance. Maybe we made the follow distance a little bit too small. Oh, this is probably why. It's 0. Okay, let's make it 10, and now it'll be able to follow us. So yeah, if I get out of its range, it will walk to a random position. Right now, if it gets to the destination, it'll still play the walk animation. We'll fix this bug in the next episode probably. But if I attack it now, okay. Oh, that's right. We forgot to set it in the inspector. My bad. Let me just drag that in. Okay, now it'll work. We just delete this, or you know what? Let's just leave it. We pick up the wooden sword. I like how it's not a wooden sword. I wonder, okay, is it displaying? Because I do not see it. Oh, I think it might be displaying. But, it's like, whoops. It's not in the right spot. If I, actually, let's just, print out whenever we do take attack with our, or no, is this even, no, this is when actually no, if we just print out g dot name or something relevant, we should be able to see whether or not our canvas is actually spawning, because I don't actually see it in the hierarchy, so I don't know if it is spawning or not. Should be though. Damage text.clone, you can see that it is, but it is right here in the wrong spot. So what we can do is we have to couple this to our basically to our skeleton enemy. So what we can say is we can say var or g dot set parent or dot transform dot set parent as transform, and basically this will set our damage text clone to be a child, or a child of our skeleton enemy, which will make it inherit the local position. So I got an error. Set destination cannot be. Okay, why is this not working? We'll probably fix a lot of the wandering bug tomorrow, or in the next episode. But yeah, anyways, you can see, wow, it spawned quite a lot. But yeah, you can see it's popping up, but in the wrong rotation as well. So what we should do is we should say here, g dot look at player dot transform, so that it'll look towards the player. As well, what we're going to be doing is we can go into the damage text, and actually what we can do is we can say g dot get component in children text mesh pro UGUI, and then we can import the TM Pro dependency, TM Pro, and then we can set this after we get the component from the children. We can set this to be equal to .text to be equal to damage.toString. And yeah, so now it'll display the damage and it'll look at our player, or it should. Anyways, in theory. So I pick this up. Yay, so it did 5 damage, but it just keeps popping up, and that is because our animation is looping. So we just want to come here and just not loop the animation anymore. And now when we press play and we attack our enemy, you're gonna see our damage text pop up once and disappear. So I'm actually going to go into our prefab because it just doesn't want to be facing the right direction. I'm just gonna rotate, because it's already rotated to 180 for some reason. That's why it's never facing the player. But yeah, so now if we come here, it is working just fine. It's a bit hard to see though, or notice, so you might want to make it a better color like cyan or something. But yeah, so that's pretty much it for this episode. Thank you guys for watching. I had so many issues with putting the project into the 2019 version that it ate up a lot of my time, so I don't really want to like get into the chest UI stuff yet. I'll do that in the next episode. Expect a lot more episodes now. I know I haven't really been uploading for like the past month, and that's because of school. But now that I've settled in pretty much to my, I guess, normal schedule now, I'll be able to upload more videos. So yeah, thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye.